The Alchemist Theater is a haunted location in Wisconsin, but Phil Koch had something to say about that. He always believed in the paranormal world, but never bought into this specific place being a part of it, and wanted to disprove his own thoughts. This is why Mr. Koch decided to visit the location with good enough gear to capture evidence and force himself to believe that the Wisconsin Alchemist Theater was, in fact, haunted. This is the evidence that he was able to uncover.
I've been sitting here for a while. Just nothing going on. What the hell? Something just moved. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Okay. I don't see anything. Have a look here. Holy crap, I don't know if that seat was down. I have no idea. All the seats are up in this theater. This one's down. Huh. Focus. Yeah.
Strangely, the seat behind Phil Koch moved on its own accord, and it was almost as if the spirit had decided to join him in taking a seat. This spooked Phil to the maximum, who investigated the surrounding area of the seat to be certain that nothing caused it, and as expected, there was nothing. One conclusion was drawn from this: the Alchemist Theater was really haunted, and the hunter had to leave before they became the hunted. Phil walked home that night in constant fear that he was being watched, and he couldn't identify why this feeling was overpowering his others. It wasn't as if anybody else was there with him. Fortunately, he was able to make it all the way back home without anything out of the ordinary happening. But that does not mean nothing happened in his own home. He had only been relaxing for 10 minutes when this piece of footage was captured.
So I'm in my bunker. Nobody's home. And Michael and I were talking about how we think the house is haunted again. Things are falling down and weird stuff. So, I'm calling out all ghosts. All ghosts. Is there somebody here? Say something into this little microphone here. My regular recorder isn't working. Go ahead. Say something loud. You know. Jesus! Something loud. You know. Jesus! Oh, crap. That scared the crap out of me. Okay, stuff is falling down. I thought, what the hell fell down? I saw everything fall off the shelf. Okay. Talking to the thing. Jeez, what the hell is... Anything else? I wonder if I'm getting any EVPs. This is why I got out of the ghost hunting business. This kind of stuff just freaks me out. Anybody else want to do anything while I'm here? Mary's gonna be so pissed. Alright. Anything? Don't throw anything at me. You can come to the damn party. I don't care. You're here. Stay. Scare my guests. Just don't scare me. And now I gotta pick this stuff up. Stupid ghosts. Alright. Fine. I gotta watch this and see exactly what happened. Goodbye.
This time around, items inside of Phil's home fell to the ground, and as an experienced man in the field, he knew exactly what had happened. A ghost of some form penetrated the house, and there was one likely conclusion. It must have been the one from the theater. Sometimes spirits have the tendency to attach to people who visit their locations and haunt them for life. I am sure that Phil Koch will find a way to detach it, though. On June the 23rd of 2014, a teenage boy was in his room when he got the sudden urge to start filming. His room had been acting weird recently, with random objects falling from shelves unprompted. It is not what you want to see at all. Anyway, back to the sudden urge to film. The boy gave in and took out his phone to see what he could catch on camera, and he expected the poltergeist to get a tad bit camera shy, but this is the opposite of what actually occurred.
Been hearing noises again. It's happening as usual. See? Daylight this time. Coming from over there. Old PlayStation games fell down. Fuck me. Fucking stupid is this. Oh, I'm sick and tired of doing this. Sorry about the angle. That's what I have to put up with. What's in the move again? Mate, what the f is going on? Fucking stupid. Fucking battery's dying. Fucking battery. Oh my god, it's bad.
Instead of turning shy and not causing anything to happen at all, the ghost started constantly launching CDs to the ground, and it was some scary stuff. The boy fortunately stayed strong and kept putting them back where they belonged, but no matter what he did, they ended up back on the floor. He is currently in talks with his parents trying to make them believe him, so I send him all of the luck that I can possibly offer. Leandro was home alone one night while his mother was out at a party. The house was quiet, but something about the silence felt off. He couldn't shake the sensation that he wasn't really alone, like the air itself had changed. It wasn't fear exactly, it was more like pressure, a weight he couldn't explain. To calm himself, he grabbed his phone and began filming, hoping that recording would make him feel more in control.
Veja o que aconteceu na minha casa, às 3h15 da madrugada.
Cara, faz horas que eu tô ouvindo um barulho aqui, então eu resolvi filmar pra vocês. Não sei, mas... parecia que tinha alguém, sei lá, fazendo um barulho, mexendo aqui na varanda de casa. Eu tô sozinho hoje. Minha mãe saiu, foi lá pra minha tia hoje, eu tô sozinho, então...
Tinha alguma coisa mexendo
eu já não fico
na chave
muito
da
bem
porta.
quando eu tô sozinho. Hã? Oi? A chave tá balançando. Olha só, não para. Gente, olha só, eu vou acender até a luz. Olha isso. Olha só, cara, que sinistro. Ela fica mexendo e não para. Ó, eu vou ficar até longe, ó. Olha lá. Não para de mexer. Olha isso, cara. Eu tô ouvindo um barulho, eu tô achando... acho que é isso, a chave tava mexendo, não sei. Olha, não para. Ai, credo, velho, que susto. Ai, credo. Nossa, sinistro essas horas, velho. Acho que não tem ninguém acordado essas horas. Só eu, aqui dentro de casa. Eu vou dormir com a luz acesa hoje, quero nem saber. Eu odeio dormir sozinho em casa, odeio. Não tem motoqueiro na rua ainda. Mas tem uma coisa que eu detesto, é dormir sozinho em casa. Cara, mas que sinistro. Que isso, cara, olha isso. Olha aí, o ventilador. Tá doido e tá desligado, tá fora da tomada. Deixa eu acender o... Olha lá. Olha isso. Olha lá. Não, tá de brincadeira comigo, né? Olha aqui. Tá fora da tomada ela. Ah não, velho, na moral mesmo. Tá de brincadeira mesmo, né?
In the footage, some keys start moving all by themselves, jingling in slow, unnatural motions. Leandro opens the door to check behind it, but there's nothing there. Just as he steps back into the sitting room, the orange fan behind the door begins to spin, even though it's clearly unplugged. His voice in the video shakes a little, caught between disbelief and panic. After the clip ends, Leandro puts the phone down and starts walking through the house, checking every corner, but it's the same story. No one's there. He calls his mum to tell her what happened, but she doesn't really know what to say. That night, he didn't sleep much. The clip was real, the fan moved, the keys moved. He's now starting to think whatever's in that house isn't just a presence, it might be aware of him. On a recent video on this channel, we looked into a household with a haunted pantry, and the poor owners had no idea what steps to take to eradicate the spirit from their home. It was a huge, everyday disturbance, and would do strange things such as show itself as an apparition behind the glass door, or physically open it, and they had enough. One day, the father decided to call a ghost hunting agency to come over and try to figure out the spirit's motivations whilst he stayed with his girlfriend. And once they arrived, this is what their camera caught.
Okay, well, we just got off the phone with the agent. Okay. Now we're going back to the location to see if anything has changed with the pantry door. It's still closed. Still closed. As you can see, this is the actual. Whether or not I can see something in there is.
Oh my god. I swear some movement. I swear some movement.
At the door, I thought that was just a reflection.
Upon their first glance into the house, they spotted something behind the pantry, and it immediately confirmed that the house owner was not raising any false alarms. Now all that they needed to do was develop a strategy of how to approach things. After literally 5 minutes of thinking, they managed to conjure one up, and with that solved, they approached the pantry.
It's still 12:35. It'll be done. What are we going upstairs for? Let's wait. It's 12:31. What are you doing, man? It's 12:35. Dude. It's down a big chunk just in case. She's late. It's probably for a minute. This is it.
Okay, let's go to the house.
Yeah. Back it up here. Ready to go. I was just kidding, dude. It's like 12:33. I'm just kidding. We should. Don't you? Let me hold one, dude.
It's brighter. Let me adjust it.
Sure, you can keep one on the pantry.
The door is closed, right?
Keep it up. Keep the door open, dude. Keep it open when we go upstairs. Yeah. Is that how it works? We're going upstairs. No ghost at 12:34. You chilling here? We should leave out the front. Alright. Or do you want to move the back? Anyone up here?
Chris. Chris. Chris, where'd you go? Did you open the pantry? Did you just open the pantry? Is it open? I heard the pop.
You want to go check it out?
Let's go check it out.
think the ghost opened the pantry, dude. No food in there, though. No way.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I heard it. I told you. Oh my god.
That's gnarly, dude. Dude, you didn't open it? That's pretty nice.
Oh my god, I fucking told you I heard it.
Dude, that's cool. I'm going back in.
Chris, I'm out of here, Mona. Let's go. I'm out of here.
Do you want to lock it, though?
Open it up. Did you?
Nah.
Did you not hear it? Did you not?
I heard it open, dude.
Shaking
That's
off the
pretty
motherfucker
gnarly.
right now, dude.
For quite some time, it seemed that the group would not be able to antagonize the pantry ghost into doing anything spooky for their entertainment. Sometimes ghosts are intelligent enough to realize that the people present are not victims, rather people preying on its downfall, so they stay a bit low-key. But when the crew all went upstairs, it couldn't resist. The pantry door opened itself obnoxiously loudly, as if the spirit was trying to lure the group back downstairs. If this was its overall goal with this sudden movement, though, it was a success because everybody wanted to make sure this was on camera, and coming down led to even more footage. The spirit had awoken.
a.m. 12:03 a.m.
Oh my God.
This was a huge compilation of what the crew were able to capture on that fateful night, and if anyone was in denial of a spiritual presence beforehand, then they should definitely have come to terms with it now. The group are now working with the house owner to come up with possible solutions on how to actually banish the spirit, which is the hard part of the investigation. Make sure to wish them some luck in the comments in case one of them manages to stumble across this video. Regardless, I send my luck. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is known for his expeditions to all sorts of haunted places, and the clip that I am about to expose your poor eyes to is from one of these adventures. Ian was visiting a haunted theater all by himself for his YouTube audience, and for quite some time, absolutely nothing happened. Eventually, he stumbled across the largest seating room in the entire complex, though, and this is when he realized somebody or something was in the room alongside him.
Hello? Is there somebody up there? Okay. All right. I gotta go up there. I'm hearing weird noises up there. Hello? Who's up there?
If you're up there, could you make another sound? Okay. There's all kinds of weird noises going on up there, so I'm gonna go up there right now and see what's going on. I thought I may have heard somebody up here. Who's up here right now? I know for sure I heard some weird noises up here, and I'm the only one in this building. So, who would be making those noises? That's why I like ghost hunting alone. Because anytime I hear something, I know for sure it's not a person.
A metal clang could be heard when he asked for any sign of presence, and he immediately went up the stairs to check. As expected, nothing was up there, so subscribe to continue this story in the next video. The following video took place in the garage of David, a badminton player who only loved one thing more than his sport of choice: motorcycles. He had always dreamed of owning one, and when he was finally in a situation that he could call financially stable, he took it upon himself to buy one. It was a top model considering that he was new to riding, but fortunately, he was able to purchase it at a cheap price from an old merchant. One thing that he failed to consider was the reason the price was so cheap, and he was about to find out in this video.
Yeah, check it out, guys. So I just got it. It's a 2022 KTM XCW. Fuck was that? I just got it a couple months. Fuck, Jesus Christ.
Mid-recording, the badminton racket collapsed to the ground, and it was almost as if a person had interfered with it. However, it was very obvious that this was far from the case. There was nobody else in the room with David, and furthermore, he felt a wave of chills swarm his body, so he knew that something was up. It was just a matter of what. He contacted the person that the motorcycle was purchased from, and all they said was 2 words: "It's attached." Zach was home alone at 2 in the morning, and this was supposed to be a relaxed and calm night. Little did he know that he was not home alone after all. Whilst his parents were gone, he was put in charge of the household, and bear in mind nothing of the paranormal sort had ever occurred inside. That all came to an end on this fateful night. Zach reported all sorts of things that happened throughout, but he was only able to capture a small segment on camera. But we all know that quality is better than quantity, and despite not filming what he did film was crazy. Take a look.
I don't want to fuck this house anymore. What the? What the? No! Oh.
Zach was in his bed far from relaxing, but suddenly he felt a cold feeling and took it upon himself to record, given that he had already experienced weird things that night. It is strange that he was given this urge, but fortunate at the same time because he was able to get the movement of his trash can on tape. And as you could tell from the reaction, this was very frightening. I received no updates after this incident, so what happened next is down to your imagination. So let me know your predictions in the comments down below. On September the 29th of 2015, a YouTube channel that goes by the name X-Mangage uploaded a video that caused a lot of concern among the audience. It took place in what looked like his kitchen, and we have no idea what actually incentivized him to start filming, but something must have, and it paid off. The time was 1:33 in the morning when this horrifying sequence of events took place. At first, the events could be easily excused or passed off as fake because electrical scenarios can be called off as issues in power. However, the fact the lights were swinging gave the audience a bit of a reason to believe it happened. This was not what sealed the deal, though. In the ending, a ton of kitchen items collapsed to the ground in an almighty crash, and there is no passing that off as some electrical issue. This was most definitely a ghost, and if X-Mangage doesn't want to fell its wrath again, he and his family should take immediate action. When a ghost starts to haunt your household, it can be some pretty scary stuff, but when you realize it's attached to you specifically, things become far worse. The man in the next clip had been living in the same home for years with absolutely no hauntings, but out of nowhere I started to notice some weird things happening. These things became so ridiculously overwhelming that he was forced to move out to a new home to escape them. Little did he know that this was not going to do the trick.
You're not allowed here. Leave. 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 This is my house. No. What the man?
It was very obvious that this place was haunted. And even after this clip, more things happened. The man filming put two and two together and realized that the same ghost had probably followed him to the newest location, meaning he couldn't simply walk away from it. If he wanted to escape, he had to hire an expert, and unfortunately, that isn't something that he is in the financial position to do. He will have to deal with it. What most people do when they discover the presence of a spirit in their house is they take action against it, and there are many ways to go about this. From hiring a professional ghost hunter to contacting priests, the solutions are endless, but each one has one thing in common. In order to get them to come and cleanse your house, you need a good amount of evidence because these guys do not waste their time. When Owen realized his place was haunted, he tried to reach out to these people who said the usual response. Come back to us when you have some valid proof, but instead of quitting, he went out of his way to get it. The upcoming clip is from Owen trying to provoke the spirit in order to get it to do something. He filmed this as the entire point was to have concrete proof, and this is what he got.
Come on, where are you? Come on. Seen you around here, so I've heard you around here somewhere. yourself, though. Show yourself. Come. Pull another one out. Pull another one out. Pull another one out. I hope. You know. That's enough now, don't do no more.
This looks like concrete proof to me. From a drawer opening without any visible force interacting with it to a large object collapsing, these two incidents happening within the same time span was way too coincidental for this to have been anything other than a ghost. After the event, Owen got back in contact, and a few hunters decided that the mission was worth their while considering the pay. All we can do is wish Owen the best of luck in the future. In the following video, Ewan, a regular man in a regular house, decided that he was going to record something crazy and show it to a public audience. Roughly 2 days before filming this video, Ewan experienced his first ever paranormal incident when some cupboards started opening and closing on their own accord. At first, he thought of as many natural reasons for this to happen as he could, but the one thing that kept coming back to his mind was that this was a ghost, and it wasn't there for friendly reasons. Fast forward to the time of this video, and Ewan noticed the cupboards doing the exact same thing, so took out his camera to record this.
This cupboard door is opening up by itself, right in front of my eyes for the second time in a week and a half. I want to show that I'm not pulling anything, there's nothing going on, I'm not tugging on anything. This is really happening right here. And there we are. It's alright, go ahead. There you go. Again, I'm not pulling on anything. There's nobody here with me pulling on anything. There's no wind. That fan isn't on or anything. Again, there's nothing going on. This is the real deal. Something in my house has been doing this, and this isn't the first time.
As you can see, the cupboards were opening by themselves, and Ewan made it as evident as possible that he was not involved in this movement, so it is hard not to believe him. He also felt a spine-tingling sensation surrounding his body, which is a common sign of a ghostly presence, so the fact he felt this says a lot about what happened that day. As of now, Ewan isn't taking action against this ghost, but he should, and in my opinion it's only a matter of time before he does. Kayla is a resident besides the Appalachian woods, which is a mysterious location to put things lightly. All sorts of out-of-the-ordinary incidents take place there, and Kayla was taught from a young age to stay clear. Another lesson that her father taught her was that if you hear a baby crying in these woods, it is not a baby, and you should not go looking, and she heard it quite frequently, but chose to follow her father's advice. One day when the crying started again, Kayla thought that it would be cool to record it and show social media how weird her place of living was, and this was the clip. The bawling echoed around the woods and would have woken up anybody surrounding too, so I hope that this doesn't happen at night. It is unknown what actually causes these cries, but the only reason people are skeptical is because those who have gone into the woods in search of the baby have never come out, and the locals have learned from those mistakes. If you have ever watched a video on my channel before then, I am certain you know of Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. Ian is a well-known ghost hunter with 100,000 loyal subscribers on YouTube that watch him explore all kinds of haunted facilities. For years, Ian did these adventures for nothing but passion, but when he realized that he could get views on YouTube, he decided to go for it, and that is how he makes his money from the hunts. In the clip that I am going to expose your eyes to shortly, he was exploring a haunted asylum, but you haven't heard the craziest part yet. He did this alone, and this is what he managed to get on camera.
If there's any patients in any of these rooms, could you call out? Is anyone in here? Ooh, ooh. I swear to God, I just heard a little boy's voice out here. Who's there? Hello? Whoa, I just came from in here. Wait. This is Noah's room. Noah? I think I just heard you. Was that you I just heard talking? Dang. Look at all these toys. They're just sprawled out everywhere. Noah, if you're in here, I'd just like to be your buddy, okay? Could you say your name? Hello? Are you there? I see you've got a lot of toys. Could you move one of them? That ball over there? It almost seems like he's a little shy. I just heard him talking just a little bit ago. I'm not hearing or seeing anything though. Is that a picture of him? Right there. I wonder if that's what he looked like. All right, Noah. I'm gonna let you continue to play or whatever you're doing in here. Thanks for talking though. What the hell? Whoa! Oh my god! What is that? Whatever it is, it just jingled and came rolling out of his room. Holy crap. Dude. What the heck is that thing? It looks like some old rolling toy or something. Holy moly. Dude, this thing just rolled out of his room. Thank you, Noah. Thank you so much. This thing looks ancient. Whoa, look at that. Oh, dude, this thing rolls forever. Is that, oh my god, you see that? Dude, it's almost as if he just freaking rolled it even faster. Oh gosh. I mean, I don't know, it could be the way it's designed.
At first, the boy that used to occupy that room before he unfortunately passed away refused to do anything special other than generate noise. But it was when Ian left that the spirit decided to give him a bit of entertainment. It rolled a toy across the room that conveniently generated the most noise out of all of them, and this was likely to instill fear into Ian. If that was the case, it worked. And make sure to subscribe, because more clips from Ian will be in future videos. Zachary was a single father who cared for his child called Lucius. The two lived a happy life as he was earning a stable income and owned a very nice house. They both described the house as perfect, and the common word that they used was a safe space, which made it even worse, which makes what you are about to see far more heartbreaking. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon when Zachary heard Lucius shout his name, and with his phone on record, he went to investigate.
All right, Lucius, what happened? Tell us what happened. It fell by itself when it was sitting on top of there, or what?
It just fell, but I don't know how.
Jesus, man. What the heck? What the heck? Lucius, you don't got Lucius, it's okay!
Zachary had no idea what to expect when he went to see what was up with his son, but what we do know is that this was at the bottom of his list. The house had never hosted anything of this nature, and the fact that it decided to all of a sudden was really frightening. Furthermore, the fact that this happened to Lucius rather than his father shows that this ghost carried negative energy and had bad intentions, because choosing a young child as a victim is something that is far too unacceptable. I hope the poor kid never has to go through something like this again, and they are able to remove the entity from their house. The following video was taken by a woman called Lisa, and she knew fine well that her house was under a haunting. Things began for Lisa 2 weeks before this video was captured, when she heard a singular knock at her window. 10 seconds after this knock, her room suddenly started going crazy, and it was definitely the act of a spirit. After this initial incident, she hoped that this would be the only time it happened, but every single day the knock happened again, and you guessed it, 10 seconds later, chaos was unleashed. Eventually, the conclusion was drawn by Lisa that the next time she heard a knock at the window, she would film and see what happened, with this being the recording.
We are here now to observe paranormal activities. Apparently, at the moment... Oh, there we go. It started. As you can see, the window is closed. The door is also closed, even though there is no door. And now, still, we're observing unnatural movements. Oh my god.
Strangely, the chair moved without any visible force interacting with it, and it is very clear that nothing was doing it. Lisa initially theorized that nothing would actually come of this recording, and the ghost would turn out to be camera shy, and was overjoyed after ending the recording. She uploaded it to social media, which is how I managed to get my hands on it, but no updates have been posted since. When you hear clattering in your kitchen, when the clock strikes midnight, it is bound to be a scary event. Not to mention that your partner is sleeping beside you, so you know it can't be them. This was the case for Nicola, the wife of Jesse, who faced this. Her and Jesse had been fast asleep for roughly 1 hour, and suddenly she was awoken by the sound of the fridge opening. After turning to her side and realizing her boyfriend was still sound asleep, she took it upon herself to check the scene with her camera in hand. Have a look.
Jesse, you left the fridge open. Holy shit. Oh my god. What's going on? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This kitchen was clearly haunted, and Nicola would most certainly pass away in a horror film. The fact she didn't think to wake up her boyfriend in a situation that could have been a strong burglar is bizarre, but she was very brave for making the decision to go alone. A ghost was probably the best outcome here, because anything else might have punished Nicola's silly decision, but she now has the draining task of trying to remove it. The time was roughly 5 in the morning, and Dave Valkrat, someone known by the people around him as a hard worker, was still awake trying to complete a project he was working on. It was an editing task, and he was being paid a huge amount for it, so he couldn't miss out, and wanted to smash the deadline by a solid week to impress the client. Little did he know that there was an obstacle awaiting him in the form of a poltergeist. An important note to make is that Dave lived without any beings other than his 2 puppies, who were both in the room with him at the time of the recording, and he doesn't fail to make this very clear.
Estoy trabajando. Disculpen el reguero. Ahí están mis perritos durmiendo. Son las 5:23 de la mañana. Estoy trabajando. Y de... Cinco veintitrés de la mañana, 5:24 ya, para los que dicen que... Para los que dicen que ocurre nada más a las 3 de la mañana, no. Son las 5 ya de la mañana. Con 24 minutos. Ahí están mis perritos. Están durmiendo. Y lo curioso es... Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío. Están escuchando. Escuchen. Son susurros. Y no hay nadie, no. Siempre los muestro que no hay nadie para que luego no digan, no, es que eso, qué sé yo, de tus amigos, de tus familiares o lo que sea. No hay absolutamente nadie. Allá vive mi hermana, allá abajo, pero pues ahorita todo está oscuro. Escucharon lo mismo que yo, ¿no? Escucharon lo mismo que yo. Ok. No estoy loco. Escuché como venía de por aquí. Aquí no hay, para los que digan, no hay nada, es una silla y lo hacemos para que los perros cuando se suban aquí así, pues a veces dejamos esta ventana abierta como ahorita. Vean, ya está amaneciendo para que vean que no es mentira. Y Dios santo. Y no se caigan si están por ahí. Otra vez apagó todo. Bueno, ahí están, mírenlos. Por eso no he hecho la cámara y nada. Ya luego lo haré. Dios mío. Bueno, una aventura más. A seguir trabajando.
Out of the blue, a voice could be heard on the other side of Dave's door, and this would frighten anyone, so you really can't blame him for becoming scared. After buckling up the courage to open the door and see if there was anything on the other side waiting for him, he did it, and to no surprise, there was nobody. For the sole purpose of making sure the viewers knew he was telling the truth, he circled the vicinity and checked every nook and cranny of the room. No evidence of a person was left behind, other than the open window of which Dave provided a good explanation for. This was definitely the act of a ghost. After drawing this conclusion once and for all, Dave resorted to something that he had never done in his life, praying to God. He was a very unreligious person, but only one being came to mind when he thought of who he could go to for help, so despite no history with religion, he prayed that nothing else would happen. To his dismay though, the prayers were not answered, and just 3 days after the initial incident, the poltergeist decided to terrorize him once again.
Son las 3:43 de la mañana. Y justo... Otra vez. Luego empiezo a sentir adrenalina. Por eso respiro así. Encendí la linterna. No hay nadie. Todo está totalmente cerrado. Ahora, los que me preguntaban, la cosa esta sale por ahí, ¿ok? Con los ojos brillosos y todo. Quiero que se den cuenta. Sale por aquí, ¿ok? Vean.
I know this is absolutely insane, but this time around, Dave was able to see the ghost in full form as it revealed itself whilst peeking around the doorway. It is unknown as to whether or not the spirit meant to get caught or not, but ghosts can go invisible in an instant, so it did likely want to be seen. The reason for this would be nothing other than an attempt to strike fear into poor Dave, and unfortunately, it worked. He is working on solving the issue, but has decided this place is not somewhere he can tolerate. New houses are being looked at, and I hope he finds one at an affordable price as much as I hope you subscribe. The next clip happened extremely late into the night, and a woman called Daria was living her usual life. She was at home with her husband and her 3-year-old daughter in a state of deep sleep, and this is when people are at their most vulnerable. The clock kept ticking until it eventually reached 3 o'clock in the morning, and just after this moment, Daria's phone started vibrating and it was a motion alert from her camera downstairs. Freaked out, but still thinking of natural conclusions, she opened the app expecting to see her pet running around the house. However, this was far from what she actually found, and not in a good way. Someone or something was peeking around that corner, and due to the front door camera not detecting anyone, it couldn't have entered the house that night. Daria and her partner both claim that nobody was awake at this hour too, which made this event even more strange, but there's more. It is supposed that the bedroom of which Daria, her husband and their daughter were in deep sleep was on the same corridor as where the creature peeked round the corner, and if that rumor is fact, then that makes this event even more terrifying. At around 10 p.m, Heather and her family arrived home from a very nice day out. They planned this outing months ago, and the kids were very excited for it in the build-up, and now quite saddened that it had passed. When they arrived home, everyone was very tired, and Heather's husband was failing to find his keys inside of his bag. While he was searching, though something was going on in the background that only one of them were able to witness with the others, thinking they were crazy. This one person was Heather, and fortunately, her Ring doorbell camera was able to pick it up too, otherwise she would be placed in the hospital for sure, which is ironic, and you'll find out why after watching.
There's like little mosquitoes.
What kind of going on there? What? What did you say? What did you say, Mommy? I didn't hear you.
You gotta keep that open so it doesn't get all musty.
Can't tell me it's not good.
The family lived a mile from Bayberry Mental Hospital, and considering the attire that the spirit was wearing, experts theorize that this is where the poltergeist came from. It resembled some form of nurse, and the uniform was identified to be from the time period of the 1950s, which means that the woman must have been very old. It is rare that apparitions are seen randomly like this, and even rarer that one person out of a full family can see it. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, has had more than enough introductions on this channel, but for the sake of the people who have never watched one of my videos before, I will care to explain. He is a professional ghost hunter who amasses view counts of up to 200,000 on a consistent basis, so he is paid well. In the following video, Ian is exploring an abandoned asylum and more specifically using a device to communicate with a ghost that was pushed out of a window in their former life. This is what happened.
On his window.
John Oliver, are you here with me right now? Who are you? That sounded like, who are you? My name is Ian. I'm here to visit. Is that okay? Yeah. You just said yeah. John, is it true what happened to you? Is it true that you fell from this window? No, you were pushed. Whoa, I couldn't tell what it just said right there. Who did it? What are the names of the people who pushed you? What did that say? Sounded like two men. Are you saying that two men pushed you out of this window? I'm so sorry that happened to you. Why did they push you, John? Do you have any idea? I had trouble making out what that said right there. He's definitely responding though. Very clearly too. John, I hear that people hear you whistle. Could you whistle through the spirit box? Whistle a tune, if you like. Sounded like you said no there. That's totally fine, John. You can do whatever you want. I'm just here to keep you company. What did I say? It just said like watch your back or something. Don't stay. Don't stay here. Or don't stay in this hospital. You just said get out now. Oh my God. All right, John. I'll leave you alone, okay? Whoa, whoa. Holy shit, dude. What the hell was that? Dude, he just pounded on the window. Oh my God, that was loud. All right, John. I'm gonna leave you alone, all right? Thank you for talking. Whoa, dude. Did he just bang on that window? It was kind of hard to hear over the spirit box, but I freaking heard something loud. It definitely sounded...
Just as the spirit said, go, it tapped on the glass of the outside window, which frightened Ian enough to finally leave the room. It was fitting that the ghost chose the window of all things to play its tricks on, because that is the very window that marked its location of death, which must have been pretty weird to sit in the mind of Ian. After this incident, He analyzed the situation and decided to carry on with the exploration of this place because he knew he didn't have enough clips yet. This is why he gets so many views, because his drive to perceiver beats all other ghost hunters. To see more of the clips, make sure to subscribe so you can see them in the next video. In the following video, Miguel was showing his apartment on a video, and the reason behind this was very unorthodox. He was in contact with a ghost hunter regarding a spirit inside of his house, and he wanted help removing it. However, the hunter wanted undeniable evidence in order for them to not waste their time, so Miguel's mission was made clear. He needed to catch this spirit on camera. He waited until the time when most of the things happened and took out his camera, which captured this.
Amigos, son las 1:26 de la madrugada y estoy solo. Ya van 3 veces que me tocan la puerta a mi casa y relativamente pues yo estoy solo, pero pues la verdad es que sí me da miedo. La neta no sé ni qué onda en mi casa y pues sí me da un chingo de miedo. Les juro. No mames, vete a la verga. No mames, no mames. No mames. Vete a la verga. No, neta, vete a la verga, vete a la verga. Se acaba de caer esta madre. No mames. No mames, no mames.
The Rhino fell from the storage cabinet to the ground and surprisingly didn't smash. It was made out of china and was hollow, so it made no sense as to how it survived the fall, which just adds to how spooky this video was. Furthermore, the fact that it landed on all fours showed that the situation was out of the ordinary because nothing of that sort can fall so perfectly. The video was sent to the ghost hunter and is pending review. We can only hope that Miguel receives the help he deserves. John Bailey Davies was an innocent teenager who was living his last year inside of his parents' house, and due to the fact that they worked a lot, he was left home alone. Whenever he was home alone, he would take his time operating a small-scale business that earned him around $1,500 per month. But whenever he finished with that, he would be free to play games. Over recent times, though, his gaming time has been interrupted by ghostly events, and when it started happening in this instance, he took it upon himself to start recording.
Welcome back to what is in my apartment while I'm home alone. Like, what could... Now, last time I didn't do this. I'm gonna open this door and it's gonna stop. I hate it.
Strangely, a series of footsteps could be heard from outside of his room, and due to this happening to him before he did not show any signs of thinking this was an intruder, he knew it was a spirit. In order to prove to the people watching the clip that it was real, though he left the room to investigate and found nothing. I dare you to try and find a natural solution in the comments, but for me, this is 100% a ghost sighting. After investigating the other room, he entered his again, hoping that he could at least sneak an hour into his day without any spiritual interruptions. This was a big ask considering how haunted his house truly was, but a man is allowed to dream, and dream he did. It's a shame his dream didn't become reality.
I'm the only one here right now. And as you can clearly hear, there's just someone out there.
Even more sounds came from outside of his room just 15 minutes later, and on top of this, the lights out there had turned themselves back on. This time, John did not buckle up the courage to investigate the situation and believed he had already showcased enough evidence towards this incident being a real one. You cannot blame him. I doubt a single one of you would be unfazed in a situation similar to this one. Cameras are some of the most useful devices out there and have many purposes. These purposes include catching crime and looking back on suspicious things that have happened within a place, and it is safe to say that a ghostly event is on the suspicious side of things. Kyle Anthony was in the sitting room with his wife one day when he received an alert from his camera app that there was strange activity going on in the attic. Concerned, he opened the app, and what he found was insane. Have a look.
Well, the camera in the attic finally recorded something. I am freaked out, and there's no way in hell I'm going up there. Oh my God. Somebody please tell me what the hell I'm supposed to do. I can't go up there. This shit is f***ing crazy.
The box was shaking aggressively, and there is absolutely no reason that something like this could actually happen without the aid of a spirit. Furthermore, Kyle has had experience with ghosts before in his past, so it makes sense that what he was experiencing was more of this. However, he decided that entertaining the ghost was not a smart idea, and unlike most victims, never contacted any professionals after the prior incidents. However, this next event would contribute to him changing that thought process. One thing that most viewers said after the clip I just showed you was that they saw an animal such as a bird or a rat that moved the box, and Kyle set out to disprove these claims in an all-new clip. The time was 1 a.m. when he went to investigate the attic.
Guys, it was not an animal moving the box. It was not a bird, it was not a rat, it was not a mouse, it was not a snake, it was not my cousin. It was a little star pendant. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna go up there and show you. I'm gonna show you what it was. Sorry it takes me so long to get up this ladder. It's very rickety and I'm nervous. All right, see it? It was this little thing. This little thing. This was coming out. That's what people thought they saw. It wasn't a rat, it wasn't a snake, it wasn't a bird, it wasn't a mouse, it wasn't any of those things. That's what it was, okay? Gosh, dang it, I'm nervous to be up here. But I might as well have a look inside the box. It looks like things got moved around a little bit, but... Okay, and that's open. That's not fun. But we're gonna finally implement somebody's suggestion. Check it out. Let's just have a look at that.
First of all, he showed the audience a star which was supposedly the root of all the animal rumors, and in fairness to Kyle, the star did perfectly line up with where the animal was. On top of this, instead of ignoring the spirit and quote-unquote not entertaining it, Kyle decided to follow a viewer's request and pour some form of substance onto the box. He expected it to frighten the spirit and cause it to flee the attic, but it had the opposite effect. A paranormal surge occurred, and not only did Kyle hear something within the attic, but when he went downstairs, all sorts were happening. He was right after all. He should not have entertained the spirit's ordeals, and rather let it be. All he had done was make the situation far worse than it already was, and show the poltergeist that it was in fact getting into his head. This was when he realized that he had already entertained and fueled the poltergeist, so he might as well go the full mile and get a ghost hunter into the property. Over the next week, Kyle contacted all sorts of ghost hunters seeking one that charged a reasonable price, until he eventually found one that charged $500, with a money-back guarantee if any more paranormal activity occurred within a year. Kyle snagged the deal and was ready for the hunter to arrive, but just 1 week before the ghost showcased its utter resentment.
We were just going to bed, and I noticed out the bedroom window right there that this light is flickering on and off. Here's anybody who thinks that I'm using fucking smart bulbs or something. I don't know if you can see it. Does that look like a smart bulb to you? Anyway, I'm gonna go look at the basement. Let's go look at the basement. Make sure there's nothing in the house. Y'all will see that nobody's flipping the breaker on and off. As you can see, if somebody was flipping the daggone breaker, these lights will be flickering too. Gosh dang it. Oh my God. Alright, let's go out there. See what's still happening. Did it stop? No, it's still going. It's still going. Look, it's still going. Look at it. Isn't that crazy? Oh, shit.
Strangely, the light bulb, which was clearly not able to be controlled by a mobile device, started to flicker on and off, and this raised the alarm bells for obvious reasons. Kyle went outside to check the scene, but this is when the doors closed behind him, confirming that this was an incident regarding the ghost, rather than a coincidence with the electricity. I wish Kyle the best on his ghost hunting visit, and hope the £500 spent becomes worthwhile. The following video was recorded in the house of Rosanna, and she has been a recurring victim of paranormal activity for a long time. It all started when her ex-boyfriend decided that it would be a good idea to visit a haunted house, and thinking it was fake, both of them were more than up for it. A lot of haunting stuff supposedly took place in this house, and they both ran back out of it as changed human beings. Little did they know that the spirit came with them, attaching to Rosanna in specific. This is the kind of stuff that she has to deal with nowadays. From the toilet seat, aggressively shaking to the door, locking her into her own bathroom, this was a horrific experience for Rosanna, but nothing abnormal for her. She was kind of used to the paranormal, but had never been locked inside of a room before, which is what gave her true fight due to her fear of enclosed places without an escape. Luckily, the exit opened, and she was able to make it out, but you can't help but feel terrible for her nonetheless. If you have ever watched this channel before, you will know who Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is. He is a brave and courageous ghost hunter who doesn't let any spirit ruin his adventures, but this one came close. He was exploring an abandoned asylum that was deemed to be haunted by many. He was completely aware that the spirits in there had a lot of resentment towards humans because of how they were treated when they were alive, but they did not expect them to cause as much of a fright to him as they did. Take a look.
Oh, that would be phenomenal if he did. Seems like you agree. Dang, this thing's going off like crazy. I don't think I've ever seen this thing go off like this. All right, Doris, I'm gonna start looking around. Which doll are you gonna move? Ooh. Oh, okay, thank you. I heard that. Holy moly, which doll moved? I can't even tell. There's so freaking many of them. Which doll did you move, Doris? Could you move her again? I'm getting nervous. Use as much energy as you need. Dude, okay, I just saw that one. That one just moved. Holy moly, I got goosebumps all over. Oh God, I can't believe I just seen that. She just moved, all on her own. Thank you so much, Doris. I feel like she is staring into my soul right now. This is a beautiful doll. Is this one of your favorites? Whoa, what the f? Dude, her hair just moved. Holy moly. She just caressed her hair. Dude, I just saw that. She just went like boop to her hair. Holy crap. Okay, I take that as a yes. This is your favorite doll. Oh gosh, it is getting freaky in here.
Out of nowhere, the doll moved its dress, and this took Ian aback for obvious reasons. However, due to his experience, he was not fazed, rather just in a state of shock. Little did he know that the doll would move again, and this time, after he asked a question, which practically confirmed the ghost was in fact present. Subscribe for more haunting videos from Ian, as he is included in every video I publish. The doors were closed, the windows were closed, and there was absolutely no air running through the house. These three facts joined together made sure that what happened in the video I am about to expose you to had a paranormal cause to it, and even doubters were turned into believers by it. The time was 11 p.m. and Stephen, a non-professional ghost hunter who simply did it as a hobby, was exploring a haunted home on Mount Albert located in Ontario, Canada. He knew this place would be ridiculed with spirits, but not to the extent that it actually was. Have a look.
Okay, that's kind of fucking weird. This thing is moving. There's no fan on or anything. This thing's moving. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. This is like an old church. It's pretty crazy. Oh shit. That's up. Something going on in here. Okay.
At first, the chandelier was swinging as if there was some form of force acting upon it. But as I explained before, there was no logical way that air could have been pushing against it. Stephen made sure to keep it on camera in case it intensified or led to any other ghostly sightings, and this turned out to be the correct decision due to the curtains drawing closed on their own accord. Both of these events confirmed that the house was haunted, and the duo at the house, Stephen had an accomplice called Carson, were becoming increasingly worried. This was because they had planned to sleep there for the night, with the permission of the owners, who invited them to come and visit, and they decided to sit down in the kitchen and attempt to calm themselves down with some heat from the oven. Unfortunately, the spirit's ideas failed to line up with those of Stephen and Carson because it performed another paranormal act for them both.
So like 15 minutes now, nothing's gone on. Chandelier, everything's good. We have this stove on because it's cold in here. There's no heat, so we just put the heater on this fucking thing there. And yeah, there's me. Nobody else is with us. Nobody. And Carson and I were just talking, and we're like, "How are we gonna sleep here?" And he was getting a little bit worried, like, and I was like, "No, I don't care, like, really." What the?
Strangely, the china kettle slowly nudged itself closer and closer to Carson before making an attempt to fall on him. He was really fortunate to have noticed this in time, because if he failed to, who knows if the kettle would have smashed and caused severe harm, getting boiling hot water all over Carson. He was a lucky man that day. On September the 29th of 2011, Sean Wheatcroft and a friend of his that lived inside of the same university house decided that they were going to attempt to catch a poltergeist on camera that had been haunting the house for quite some time. The house was located in Leicester and held 8 people who all got along very well, but were certain the place was haunted. The majority were too frightened to be present whilst Sean and his friend tried to catch the ghost, hence why it was just those two in the video. But here you go.
There's someone down here. Where did you really? If someone down here, can you just bang or tap? Tap a couple of times.
I don't know if that's them bangs at them upstairs. I'm putting them like that because they're easier to move then. Can you move any of these 2 glasses? They're really easy to move now, they're on the side. So if you can just push them at all.
Oh my god!
Oh,
turn the light on, man.
At first, the glass failed to move, and Sean speculated that this was due to it being stood up, which meant it required more energy for the spirit to cause anything. The moment that he laid them onto their sides, though, the poltergeist was happy to nudge one of the glasses and instill fear into both people present and everybody watching on social media from home like you. The men who occupy the university house are currently in contact with Leicester University on how to approach the situation, but as you would likely predict, they are not helping as much as they probably should. A Colombian woman by the name of Milana was setting up the kitchen for a family gathering when she suddenly became victim to a sinking feeling that something bad was about to happen. She had a family of roughly 40 people, and 28 of them were coming over for dinner that evening. All that she needed to do was cook some easy food, but when she received her gut-wrenching feeling regarding an upcoming disaster, she needed to take a seat for a moment, and it was while she was sitting there that the event happened.
Estoy aquí en el apartamento sola y acabo de escuchar algo en la cocina. No sé si ustedes lo escuchan, pero yo sí lo escucho. Ay, Dios.
Rather than a highly dangerous disaster where Milana would be put at risk, nothing too bad happened, and all she had to do was face a big fear of hers, a poltergeist. It moved the vase on the shelf all the way from the left to the right, and she was very fortunate to have caught it on video. When the family arrived, she explained that she was sorry she was unable to complete the food and asked somebody else to finish it off with guilt. She decided to not make them aware of what happened in case she aggravated the spirit into causing further mayhem, and it must have worked because nothing like this ever happened again. Similarly to the situation that Milana found herself in, the victim of our next clip was also operating in the kitchen, but in a situation far less dire. Zombie and her husband Emmanuel were in the kitchen together, making themselves some dinner, when all of a sudden they supposedly saw their food moving without any human interaction. Thinking that they were both seeing things, they decided that it would be best to ignore this mysterious sight and continue cooking. But once it happened again, they were certain that their eyes were not lying to them, and Zombie took out her camera to see what she could potentially catch. This is what she was able to record.
Nonsense. Oh.
If it was water, it should be moving like a lot.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Are you dead? Is that it?
Watching throws her cross.
Don't sleep, don't sleep. I think that's it. I think it's done messing with our food.
Somehow, the already cooked and served food started moving across the counter, and it was very obvious that there were no strings or anything of the sort attached. This was a first-time experience for the duo, as none of them had ever gone through anything of the sort, and were sad that they eventually had to. After the incident, they sent the video to everybody that they possibly could in search of good advice, and the best that they got was to contact their local church, so they decided to go for it. A priest is now scheduled to visit their home and attempt a cleanse, so all we can really do is pray that this turns out to be a success. Roughly 1 year ago from now, a young man called Mason had a dream, and he had absolutely no idea that this was a premonition, meaning that it would one day become a reality. In this dream, a spirit was continuously knocking on his walls in a clear attempt to frighten him, and eventually he darted up from bed sweating, realizing that he was experiencing an altered reality. Fast forward 365 days though, and whilst Mason was watching the television, this started to happen.
Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me. Knock if you hear me.
Mason initially started to record because he heard the knocking noise and instantly got some déjà vu from it. Since he had already dreamed the situation, he knew that it was going to continue for a few more minutes, so started to film to assure his relatives and friends that he was not lying when he decided to tell them. Who knows how many of your dreams could become reality, and based on the nightmares that everybody has, that would not be fun. Anyways, going back to the story of Mason, after the knocking incident, he was very frightened and didn't know whether it was the right idea to inform people or not. He came to the eventual conclusion that it wasn't, and thought people would not believe him despite the video evidence. This decision would not stick, because something else occurred though. This time he heard sounds from outside of his room, and it was as if somebody was pottering around his house. Curious, he went to his door in order to investigate the scene, and this is when he was greeted with a large and menacing silhouette, not what anybody wants on the other side of their door. This last clip was filmed by Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, as part of a long vlog inside of a haunted asylum. Over the last few videos, we have been including clips from this adventure, and from moving fruit to self-slamming doors, they continue to become worse and worse, with the one that I am about to show you not spoiling that trend. With that said, take a watch.
Heck is that thing? Looks like a horn of some sort. That's really weird. What is that thing? I don't even know. It's attached to something. Comment below if you know what that is. I have no idea. What the? Did that just turn on or did I leave it on? What the hell? I honestly can't remember if I actually left them on or they just turned on. I don't know. I have to look back at the footage and see later. Did someone just turn these lights on? Hello? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I know for sure I turned it off, but I don't know if I turned it back on at some point. I can't, honestly, for some reason, I can't remember. This whole asylum, I feel like I am slowly losing my mind. I can't even properly remember things. Hello? What was that? I just heard something in here. Hello? Whoa. What the hell? My booster light just went out. And I can't get it to turn back on. What the hell? This has never happened before. This place is literally messing with me. Oh God! Oh, the lights just went out! And of course my freaking booster! Dude, this flashlight! Why isn't it working? Oh God! Oh, thank God! Get me out of here! Turn these fuckers back on! Oh God, that was terrifying. Dude, of all the times for my booster light to go out and my freaking flashlight, dude, I couldn't see anything. I'm not doing anything else until I freaking get new batteries, a new light. Hell no.
All sorts of things happened within this terrifying 3 minutes for Ian, and he was fortunate to have made it out unscathed. It was extremely coincidental that his equipment stopped working at the exact same moment that the lighting in the complex did, and that alone points towards a paranormal cause in my books. Subscribe to my channel for more eerie clips from Ian. The following video was captured by a man called Paul, who had absolutely no belief in anything from the paranormal world. The mere mention of spirits made him laugh in the face of whoever spoke the word, and the shock that would come to him if he actually came across one would be indescribable. In the video that I am about to show you, Paul was in his house doing some maintenance jobs that his wife set whilst she was out working when all of a sudden, a dark and eerie feeling swarmed the room, which gave him the instinct to press record, and this is what was caught.
El televisor solo.
Los exteriores de Chip, que finalmente redundan en la gestión y administración del territorio.
Strangely, the television was turned on by itself, but this is only one of the things that happened. This wasn't just a paranormal incident in isolation, it was many combined. The bell tower started chiming, as if a force had acted upon it, but we can clearly see that nothing has. Furthermore, it throws bottles, and something even hits the feet of Paul towards the end of this video. Paul did not believe in the paranormal world one bit before this video, but after it, saying he was questioning his feelings would be an understatement. In July of 2018, a family in New Orleans were sitting down together, watching some television, when the youngest child noticed something very strange. They pointed at the cabinets beneath the TV and claimed that they were moving by themselves, so the parents paused the television to take a look. For roughly a minute, nothing happened, and they were debating putting the television back on, as they were quite enjoying their show. However, moments later, this happened, and it kept them glued to their seats, and not to mention their mouths glued closed.
Okay, guys, we're in our room, and, you know, things are a little strange. So, I'm gonna see if I can, see what's going on and see if we can get somebody to respond. So if you're in here, please let us know. Okay, I know y'all see that, right? Nobody's touching nothing. Yeah, spooky.
It was very fortunate that the father decided to take his phone out to record this incident, because the child was correct and the cabinet moved on its own accord. We could clearly see inside of the cabinet as it was moving, and nothing was seen inside, meaning that whatever caused this must have been invisible. The kid says that it was most definitely a ghost, but the parents just can't teach themselves to buy into that opinion. I'm keen to see what you think in the comments. What would you do if random objects started moving inside of your house without any human interaction? My prediction is that you would run away and shout because I know for certain that would be my reaction. Well, the man in the following video handled it much differently. His name is Sam, and throughout his life he always felt as if someone or something was watching him. These feelings became so bad that he even had to go and seek therapy for it to see if any past traumas could be triggering it. But little did anybody know what was actually behind the feeling.
Hay algo. Ay, ¿qué pido? No mames, ¿qué pido? Se está moviendo el banquito solo. No mames. ¡Ah, su puta madre!
A ghost must have been behind it all along. Unlike most people who cower in the face of paranormal activity, Sam was cool and collected here, acting as a good example for how to behave. However, it makes no sense why he would be this way. For a first time, the reaction was way too chill and laid back, with many speculating it was because this was fake. Hold on though, because it wasn't. Perhaps over the years, Sam was starting to think that the feelings came from a spirit, so when it actually decided to haunt him, it came as no surprise. The truth is that there are no real answers out there, and it is up for interpretation. A bedroom is meant to be a safe space for people to go to when they want to drown out all of the noise from the world. And in the clip that I am going to show you shortly, Hannah was using it for this exact reason. She had experienced a horrible day at college, and when she came home, the only thing that she truly desired was her bed. But she had no idea that something was going to step in her way. The time was 11 p.m., and Hannah was still on her mobile phone, scrolling through social media in order to forget about the day, but she was beginning to consider going to sleep. Just as she came to the decision to rest though, this happened.
Yo, what the heck?
Somehow, the sound of knocking could be heard on the other side of the door, and it was a repetitive knock that supposedly lasted 2 minutes. Hannah didn't think to record for the majority of the situation, but we are lucky she came to that choice eventually. After catching the knocking on camera, Hannah knew that she needed to prove its authenticity in order to post it online, so searched the bathroom that the knocking came from. To absolutely nobody's surprise, it was empty. One of the most prominent places to become haunted in a house is the basement, and the only place in contention is the attic. The basement is where all of the dodgy things happen because it is tucked away and hidden from the rest of civilization. In our next clip, a mother of two was doing some cleaning around the house when she started to hear a weird noise coming from down in the basement. She was too frightened to go and check without company, so called to her daughter for aid, who agreed to go down there with her. Fortunately, nothing dangerous was on the other side of the door, but something weird definitely was.
And this is my basement. Summer. Tell me it's in the same box as Chucky right now.
Yeah, it's right there.
What?
Yeah, it's in there.
Right, but it hasn't been touched, and all of a sudden, after all of these months. and it's off.
After taking a moment to actually identify where the sounds were coming from, they found out it was in a Christmas box, and the noise was a Santa toy. Curious to see how it had turned itself on, the mother reached into the box and pulled it out, revealing the most frightening part of this story. The switch was off. No matter how many experts have tried to debunk this video, none of them have been able to and haven't recorded an explanation for the Santa incident. The mother is currently contacting ghost hunters to see if they can be of any aid. Sarah first started doing real estate 3 years before this next video was taken, and in all of those years, she has never experienced anything like this. Roughly 1 year into her real estate adventure, she purchased a property for people to rent in order to achieve consistent income, but little did she know that this would be a poor purchase. Over the course of 1 year, 15 people broke the contract of the property and left. So now the government forced her to inspect the place and send footage to them to prove that it was a safe environment to live in. This is what she ended up submitting. Have a look.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque la gente no dura rentando. Rompe el contrato por una u otra cosa y tuvimos que venirla a limpiar el día de hoy porque ya mañana se van a mover. Se las quiero enseñar. Lo raro es que dice el realtor que no dura la gente. Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. Ay, no mames. Ya es noche. Estoy sola. Chingados estoy. No hay nada. Esta pinche casa la han rentado un chingo de veces y no sé por qué rompe el contrato la gente. Ay, no, déjenme regresar, sí, porque me dio cosas a la pinche puerta. Y dicen los señores que rentan aquí que miran demasiadas cosas. La gente no dura viviendo aquí. Rompe el contrato, así que vamos a grabar un poquito para allá. Ese pinche cuarto ahí, no sé qué fregados es. Ya las muchachas me están esperando allá afuera. Miren, allá me da cosa. Tengo que prender la luz. Ahorita voy a ir a prender la luz para seguir grabando. ¿Te imaginas? Para que la gente rompa el contrato acá, es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. ¿Dónde está la luz acá? Chingada madre. Ahí está. Ok, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Esta es una recámara. Se está poniendo ahorita tenso. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias que rompen el contrato. No sé qué es lo que pasó aquí. Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que... Chingados, que... Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que realmente ha pasado, pero sí la hemos limpiado varias veces porque no dura la gente. Y eso sí, la verdad es algo extraño, que no dure nadie. Yo no sé si tú has vivido en una casa así, donde te hayas tenido que haber salido por algo o roto el contrato. Ahorita les voy a enseñar qué es eso que se escucha. ¡Ey! ¿Andan acá? No mames. Espérenme. Iba a dejar grabando, pero la neta ya me está dando cosa. Se escucha el ruido para acá. No sé qué sea. Escucha mucho ruido. que ir. No se ve. Tengo que ir a apagar la luz de allá porque se está poniendo ya. Ay, no. Creo que voy a regresar mañana mejor. Yo me voy a la chinga. Esa pinche luz, la de acá la tengo que apagar.
It seems that the reason so many people decided to break the renting contract and leave the house early is because it was haunted, which is very reasonable. Sarah realized she had a huge problem on her hands because nobody was going to move in now, and she would be forced to lower the rent. In one last desperate attempt to keep rent high, though she is currently in contact with a ghost hunter to come and cleanse the place, but since her motivation is profit, she will be charged a high amount. In the following video, a man was staying at his father's house because he had received tragic news. He would be sent into hospital 3 days from the time of recording due to a disease that proved fatal later down the line. At the time, though, the man had no idea of the outcome. The time was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the father went to the local shop to get some food for them both to eat later on. The son was used to waiting around in this priopet since it hadn't changed since all the way back when he was a child, making it a nostalgic place. However, something was different. He just couldn't pin what. It was some sort of feeling swarming his body to leave the place, but he knew he shouldn't. It was literally his father's place of residence. The poor bloke lived to regret this decision.
Estoy acá en la casa de mi hijo, ven acá al campo. Bueno, acá se ve un patio, pero es todo campo. Y me senté 2 segundos acá y... ¿Lo ven? ¿Lo ven ahí? Hace unos segundos se está asomando algo y... Yo veo... ¿Ven? ¿Lo ven? ¿Se ve? ¿Ven? Mira. ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Concha de la lora. No veo nada, la puta re mi parió. Madre. Me doy vuelta todo alrededor, no hay nada, La casa estaba abandonada porque dejamos todas las cosas ahí, pero... Se escucha algo. Uy, concha de la lora. No, estoy re loco. Bueno, si vieron algo, me dicen en los comentarios. No se puede creer.
Out of nowhere, an apparition came into view, and what made it ever more horrifying was that nobody was actually there. It was either a figment of his imagination or a ghost, but after checking back on the camera footage, he knew this was as real as it gets. Ian, also known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, is the most known person on this channel, and if you have ever watched one of my videos, you will know why. His profession is recording ghostly videos in some of the most haunted places that Midwest America has to offer, and this definitely comes with frights. His videos last up to 2 hours long, meaning they are perfect to include in my videos, and the one that you are about to be exposed to took place in an abandoned asylum, and he was alone. Take a look.
That wind is absolutely nuts tonight. This place is absolutely nuts. I'm not even halfway through this place, and that tells me I'm in for a long night. Doris, are you in here? I know we spoke earlier. I'm down in your kitchen now. Whoa. What was that? It almost looked like a ray of light over here. Doris, was that you I just seen? Hello? Whoa. I just seen it over here now. It's like a yellowish glow. Thank you for showing yourself, Doris. Ooh, it's that fan again. Are you cooking something? What are you cooking? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I'm starting to lose it. I just heard, it sounded like humming, almost. Doris, was that you? There it is again. That same glow. It was just in that cooler. That walk-in cooler right there. Are you in this cooler? Hello?
The most frightening part of this interaction was the ghostly glow by far, because it almost confirmed to Ian that it was present. Furthermore, it started humming, so this spirit must have wanted to be seen. Who knows the reasons why? Subscribe for more clips of Ian. A husband and wife had been dealing with some rough paranormal activity, and it had gotten to the point that they had to leave their house for a few days. As they were leaping though, the husband turned around and caught a snapshot of a face in the window before it quickly vanished. They went back inside the house to record and see if anything was actually inside of it, or whether it was a concerning shadow, and this is what happened in the home. They heard noises in the room whilst their dog was barking, and this was too coincidental to not have been a paranormal presence. The husband tested his luck and logged onto the camera app to see if he could witness anything else, and the figure of a ghostly woman could be seen looming in the corner. They quickly took their children out of the house and left it for a weekend. We can only hope that the spirit is gone once they arrive back. Every Sunday without fail, Thomas, a man who despised his job, made the absolute most of his day off by tapping into his inner alcoholic. Him and some friends would always join a call on their devices and play all sorts of games together, such as Call of Duty and Fortnite, but whenever they got a kill, they had to have some alcohol. This gave Thomas a reasonable excuse as to why he saw something that he assumed to be paranormal, and he blamed it on the drunkenness. But due to capturing it on camera, we know that this was not the case.
It's a fucking Sunday, dude. Do it again, my God! Oh my God. Okay, that was... I mean, it's not worth the fact that you broke my glass, dude. That was like 1,500 points a Dave & Buster's. That's a feat. Dude, you have to do some extra shit. Let's do some examinations, bro. I'm tripping out actually pretty hard. I just kind of want to get up.
The poltergeist threw 2 glasses alongside a valuable item on the floor, and it is safe to say that Thomas was pretty annoyed by this sudden outburst. He came to the conclusion that the beer had led him to seeing this, but once he rewatched the footage a day later, he was truly spooked and uploaded it to YouTube. In the following video, a young boy called Ricky was doing some homework at his work desk when the most unexpected thing possible happened. He claimed that the cup beside his computer had moved on its own accord, and this is what beckoned him to start recording. If he hadn't captured this on film, then nobody would have believed him, but fortunately, he did, and we are lucky enough to be able to watch it. Before I show you the video though, if you have any paranormal clips and would like me to break them down in a future video for you, then send the footage to hauntedofficial@gmail.com and give me the story of what happened. Have a look.
Right now I saw this cup just move and I got scared, man. I was seeing strange things going on in my house, so maybe, I don't know what could happen, but... Whoa! Whoa! What's that? What was that? Oh, it's moving. Whoa. What's that, man? Oh!
Strangely, the cup fell to the ground not once but twice, but many people have tried to debunk this event. Heaps of people claim that the cup could have easily had an attached string because the camera quality was so low, but no matter how far you zoom into it, this is not the case. It was pretty evident that no visible force acted upon Ricky's cup, meaning he must have encountered a ghost. Ricky has not suffered from anything similar since. Donna Ayers has been on the paranormal radar for quite some time now and has made appearances on some of the oldest videos on my channel. This is because her house is haunted, and whilst she is pretty certain that the culprit of all the hauntings is her passed-away husband, the events still instill fear into her nonetheless. The video that you are about to see took place in a planned attempt to capture the ghost in action, and it went pretty well for Donna.
Just doing a bit of the Ouija board and my key started moving, so I thought I'd just record it. It was just strange. I've had this before with the keys though, nothing new really. They moved just as I was putting the Ouija board on the table. There you go. Told you. And I don't really give a shit what you people think neither, because it's happening. Hello? Knock the keys off.
She wanted the spirit to move the keys after incentivizing it through the use of a Ouija board, and it listened. A spirit that listens to its victims is quite a rare occurrence, hence why Donna believed it came from her husband, followed by the fact the hauntings started shortly after he left the world. This is the only reason that Donna has not decided to banish the spirit, but it is seriously getting her close to considering it. Being a fireman is one of the most respected jobs in society, and this is because you are going out of your way to save people's lives. Day by day, these people are put into life-threatening situations to save others and do not get paid the amount that they should, considering they could die on the job, but they continue their good deeds nonetheless. The piece of footage that I am going to expose you to took place in the midst of a fire and was recorded by somebody who worked within the fire service. It is important to note that they were 100% certain that there was nobody in the building at the time, and there are no logical explanations for what happened.
Okay. I'm gonna try and walk in and see what it's like. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's been down low.
You should see it right now. It's amazing. Look through the window. It's like exploding. Hold your breath and go look. Just make sure you can get out because it's pretty cute. It's pretty amazing inside there. Did you look in the doorway?
Yeah, flames are coming out.
No, better not be.
Graham and Autumn better be out of there. We're out. Yeah, hey, Graham and Autumn, go get out.
Woo! It's getting out of hand right now. Hey, the water's dripping off the house. It's hot. Whoa. Whoa, you hear that? Gee whiz. It's like busting the glass out. Look at that. Gee, you hear it?
The fireman decided that he was going to investigate the building as his unit had only just arrived on scene and the fire was pretty strong. Little did he know that as he entered the building, some sort of shadow figure would peek out from behind the doorway before taking cover again. The worker told all of his colleagues about what he saw and even showcased the footage to them, which incentivized them to search the building a second time for any people. But again, nobody was found. This must have been a ghost. It was the day before Halloween, and two hikers set out on a long trip to a rural area in Scotland. That evening there was a storm due, but they had the gear that they needed, so were able to push on and not give up on their adventure. Eventually, they came across an old house that had been around since the 1800s. Due to the torrential conditions, they decided to enter this place to take cover from the oncoming storm, but little did they know the weather would be so bad that they would not be able to leave. Furthermore, they had no idea that there was a spirit present.
Found the bothy book. You put my glasses on now, just finds a bat. So this is popular, quite a popular bothy by the looks of it. Someone actually stayed last night. It was nice and tidy when we came in. So plaudits to whoever stayed here last night. Well done. Absolutely spotless. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa. Whoa. I'm out. Whoa. I'm out of here. No.
Right, you can't see us here, but we just ran out of this room there. That was totally weird. The door just started to move on its own, and then it just pretty much slammed shut. I mean, Marty's out there.
It moved something in the room which put both of them on high alert, but the least they expected was for the door to move on its own accord. They tried to escape the facility, but to their disappointment, the wind was pushing against the door, which meant they could not close it. This was not a good situation.
I mean, I don't particularly believe in ghosts, and neither does Martin. No. So we're kind of thinking that it might have been just like the backdraft of the wind. I mean, there's a storm going on outside, so
yeah. But I still don't believe it was the wind, but it's the only when the wind's blowing that strong outside, and there's no, it's the only rational explanation, even though I'm not even looking at that. No, I'm not looking at it. It's moving, right? So, I'm honest, I don't know where to go.
This can't be right. I'm not.
It's black in here as well, I can't see a thing.
So there's a chair over there, and it just started to move, which is
No way. I'm not even. No.
It's bonkers.
I'm not having any part of this.
That is moving. It is moving, that chair is moving.
Just leave it.
Oh, Christ.
After this incident, the location had a blackout and all electricity stopped working, including the cameras. They both went to bed in nothing but fear that night and left first thing in the morning for obvious reasons. The following clips took place in an abandoned Japanese hotel that has had many reports regarding hauntings in the past. The hotel has become so famously known for its evil and disturbing nature that the owners needed a plan to keep getting customers, and so they turned its whole selling point into the fact it was haunted and raised the prices. This duo decided to visit the hotel for a YouTube video, and what they caught was expected, considering the environment but still spooky nonetheless. Take a look.
Oh, ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。え？なんだ？お、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。何？え？音が。ちょっと。うわ。
The woman was locked in a room by Herschel for experimental purposes, and she heard a bang that happened for unknown causes. It switched to the man's POV, which confirmed nothing around could have made this sound happen, but that was not all.
で、その返答がちょっと待って。え、どうした？え、どういうこと？ちょっと待ってね。え？え、開いたし、は？
鍵が。
震えようや。ちょっと、俺もは？どういうこと？わからん。どういうこと？震えようし。マジか。
SP をつけたまま。いや、なんかね。ちょっと怖い。
なんでなんどういうこと？状況説明して。
ちょっと待って。
いやいや、落ち着いてからでいい。
今こちらの部屋に誰かいますか？なんかね、音がするんだ。誰かいたら反応をお願いします。なんでこれ？ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。ちょっとやばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。何？ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。ちょっと無理。あ、スピードが。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。なんで？鍵が開かない。どういうこと？マロー。やばいやばい。来て。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、なんで？開かない。鍵が開かん。どういうこと？マジでガチでやばい。どうしよう、スピードもつけたまんま。ちょっと待って。おかしいよね、なんで？どういうこと？やばいやばい、マジで早く来て。なんで？開いた。鍵が。
古いよ。焦ったなんかと思った。まあ一旦落ち着こう。ちょっと待って。焦った、めっちゃ走った。いや俺もさ、
ちょっと待って。
俺もジンバルがおかしくなったんよ。
ドンって音がしたんよ、大きい。
あれここやった？
多分分からん。こっちから聞こえて。
扉のとこ？
扉か分からんけど、そこ座っとったんよ。
はいはい。
で、大きい音がして、その前にも音はしよったんよね。
俺もドンって聞こえた。
で、ドンってもうやばいって思って、でちょうどスピードしよったよね。でやばいって思ってもう逃げてしまったんよ私。
音で
びっくりして。
じゃあさっきの音だ。
じゃあもう鍵が閉まった。
俺すんなり開いた。
鍵が閉まっちゃうんかわからん。鍵が閉まったのかどうかわからんけど、開かんかったのこれが。鍵をこうカチャカチャしよって。
なんで？
それでも開かんで。
俺来たらすんなり開いたよね。
ちょっとわからん。
All sorts of haunting things happened, and after all of this, they decided to make their way back home. The hotel lived up to its name of being extremely haunted with sounds and moving objects, so even the most brave of ghost hunters would not have coped.